Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Yves and I am back from vacation. We took about 5 weeks off. I know it's quite a lot. I hope I didn't bore you too much with the content I had lined up, but we are back and like you can see, we have a lot of stuff to do. But before that, we are also going to look into the Bambu lawsuit that is going on, because this could actually be a huge thing. And we are also going to announce the winners of the giveaway from Wargamer. And we are also going to look at what the hell is happening with the Arco system from Phrozen. Alright, so first we are going to pick the winners of Wargamer. Right over here I have the names on the screen, and actually right now we only have 8 people. We had a lot of comments, but none of them answered the absolutely very important question that was, is Britney crazy? Now these 8 people did, so let's look who won the resin. There are going to be 4 winners, so let's start with picking the first one. Alright, so right now you can see the 8 winners. We are going to give it the first spin, and the first winner is going to be Caltrop Art. Congratulations, you are the first winner. We are now going to pick a second one. Kinder than Noob, I think it's going to be pronounced like that. You are the second winner, time for the third winner. Then for the third one we have Rory Campion. And then the last winner of the giveaway. Yarbon Yashara Al, I think. You're the fourth winner. Congratulations, guys. So those are the 4 winners. If you are one of the winners, then make sure to follow the little description down below where I explain what you have to do to claim your bottle of resin. To be short, just shoot a mail to noisieworks@gmail.com and provide me this proof that it is actually you that I'm talking to. And the next thing I want to talk about is going to be the Bambu Lab lawsuit, because I think this is going to be a pretty huge deal if they, I mean Stratasys. If Stratasys is actually going to win this lawsuit, this could have major consequences for every printer. Even all the printers we are owning right now are infringing on their patents, or at least that is what they are claiming. I am not a lawyer, I only have a very small idea on how patents work, so I'm probably going to say some things that are not going to be 100% correct. Nonetheless, we are going to talk about Bambu Lab and what they are facing. The things I'm going to talk about, you can find some articles, I'm going to put them down below so you can watch them. And also Nathan Built Robots did an amazing video about Bambu Lab and the lawsuit that is coming. So I'm going to link him down below too, if you want to get some more info about Bambu Lab and the whole thing, because he's definitely a lot more up to snuff when it comes to those patent things. But I think the more exposure we give to it, the more people know what they are actually facing, because like I said, it's not only Bambu Lab. If Stratasys is actually winning the lawsuit, this could have major consequences on every company that is providing even something stupid like a heated bed. Now, first of all, Bambu Lab is not a small company. You would think that because they did some sort of a Kickstarter that they are a very small company. Well, that is not true. Bambu Lab is actually a massive company backed with a lot of money. Money that they are not talking about, obviously, but they have a lot of interest in the company, so there is a lot of money behind Bambu Lab. Now, Stratasys is actually a pretty old company. They are ranging from, I think it's in the 80s that they were already doing stuff with 3D printing, and I think one of their first patents was actually what we call FDM, which is fused deposition modeling, which means that every printer that you own that prints filament would be infringing the patent. Now that patent expired ages ago, so that patent is free game right now, but they still have a lot of patents that are involving infringing stuff. Even this Sovol SV08 is definitely infringing on 2 patents at least, and I think even 3 patents. So the biggest reason I think that Stratasys is going after Bambu Lab is because they took the market by storm. They did not only take the market by storm for just the regular Joe like you and me, but they also took a major chunk of money out of Stratasys' pocket, because a lot of companies, if they have to pick between a machine from Stratasys that is going to cost 200 grand, or they just have to pay 1500 bucks for a Bambu Lab, yeah. So Stratasys is probably feeling the heat. They are selling a lot less printers. Now Bambu Lab has entered the professional market, and that is probably why they started filing in for a lawsuit, just so they could recoup some of the money, or I think that is probably what they are aiming for, getting some money out of the pocket of Bambu Lab or owning some claim of the business. Yeah, Nathan Build absolutely nailed that part. So if you want to know more about that, go watch his video. Now let's talk about the actual patents. There are about 11 patents that they are infringing on. I'm not going to tell them all, but I'm going to look at the most important patents. And one of them, which is actually pretty bizarre, I didn't know you could even get a patent for a purge tower. The purge tower is that little bit of waste that they are printing on the side to make sure that the nozzle is completely clear of the old material. Now, apparently, purge towers are patented by Stratasys. Now, Bambu is not the only company. Anycubic has a system like that. Now, the Phrozen Arco is going to have a system like that. And we also have the new Creality K2 with the color changer. So these companies are all infringing the patents. Now, this is actually pretty crazy that you can patent something like this, because it's just basically adding another print on the build plate, and it is doing some movements, extruding a little bit of stuff. So yeah, apparently this is also patented. Then we also have flexible print beds. It's not the type that you can see from printers like Creality with this nice holographic stuff on the build plate. Those are stickers. Those are actually fine. It is the build plates that are not sticker based. Just like this one from the GDQ1 Pro. This is a powder coated build plate, and this build plate is actually also Stratasys, which is actually crazy. Can you imagine that if Stratasys is winning that battle, that nobody is able to sell these build plates anymore, or at least in the US? What the hell? Then the Bambu also has a force sensor in the printhead to do some calibration. Well, apparently Stratasys has a patent for that. So yeah, a force sensor in the printhead is absolutely illegal, but Bambu Lab is also not the only company that is providing printers with a force sensor in the printhead. So yeah, that is also a major oof. And the next thing is going to be connected printing. Also, the GDQ1 Pro, as well as the Algo, the Saturn 3 Ultra, the Saturn 4 Ultra are all infringing on that patent. So you cannot send your files to your printer to print directly, or at least that is what I am understanding of it. Bambu Lab is also infringing on that, just like any modern 3D printer right now. Yeah, so this is also a really big oof. And then the last thing is going to be RFID tags in your filament spools. So Bambu Lab with the AMS system, if you are putting in a spool, it is automatically detecting what filament spool is in there, so it can put a preset in it. It is PLA, this color and all of that. Well, it is actually pretty illegal. Stratasys also has a patent for that. So what is a patent actually? Well, it is really simple. You have designed something like this. These are wireless earplugs. These play music in your ears. I have just made this and I want you to not copy this stuff, so I file in a patent, which means that for the next 20 years, nobody on earth can build this technology. So basically, you cannot build anything that's wirelessly over Bluetooth into your ears. So this would be locked for 20 years unless you have a license to do so, which means you have to pay money for it. Another great example are going to be AIOs, or all-in-one liquid water coolers you have on PCs these days. So if you want to cool your processor, you can put in an AIO, but the pump block combination is actually under a patent from ASICS, I think it is. So that means that everybody that wants to put a pump in the block that you put on your CPU is licensed under a patent, and ASICS is receiving money to do so. Now, I think it's pretty crazy that patents these days are still holding value for 20 years. Now, 20 years, I'm not sure about you guys, but if I'm having a patent for 20 years, that technology is done for. In the next 20 years, nobody else can build it, except for if there is one Chinese company just saying, screw it, we are going to build it anyways, which still is the case in China. We still see a lot of copycats, patents or not. There are companies that just say, we don't care. Now, because Bambu Lab is so big, there is a lot of money behind it. They have a reputation to uphold, so they will have to respond to it. And this actually means that every printer they sold since that Kickstarter and all the new printers like the A1 Mini and the P1P and the P1 are all infringing on that patent, which means that Stratasys is actually able to sue them for a good chunk of money. And if they actually win that lawsuit, they can go after the Crealities, they can come after basically everybody that they want infringing on those patents. Why in the hell are those patents 20 years? We are living in a fast-moving industry, and basically saying 20 years is just game over. Nobody else is going to use it for that long, and we actually lose that technology, in my opinion. I can agree that patents exist. Sometimes something so unique needs to be patented in order to stay alive as a company, but 20 years, really? Is 2 or 3 years not enough? Let me know down below what your opinion is about patents. I think that 20 years is absolutely crazy. There is no reason that a patent should be 20 years long. I think a few years would be more than enough to cover for the R&D of the company to come up with that solution. Of course, patents can be licensed, but as you might know, patent licensing is probably pretty expensive. So yeah, and some companies just say straight, nope, we are not licensing our patent. So this is actually going to be pretty interesting to see what Stratasys is going to do with the lawsuit. And if this means if we are going to back straight to the ice age of 3D printing, where we are going to lose a lot of functionality because of that. Now, probably Bambu Lab is going to try and nullify or cancel those patents because making a patent is actually not that easy. These patents are also really old. They are probably 10 plus years old. So technology naturally progresses to a state that you can say that connected printing over Wi-Fi is just a natural evolution of 3D printing. A great example that Nathan gave was the normal 2D printers that we know right now if you just want to make a copy of a piece of paper. So we have printer copiers and all of that. This is not a patent. The natural evolution is that printers are now hooked up with Wi-Fi. But because it is a 3D axis, we are infringing a patent that is probably a decade old. I think that connected printing is an absolute bullshit patent. The 2D printers are having connected Wi-Fi. Everything these days are having connected Wi-Fi. And that is what I mean with the industry is moving so fast. These things would eventually be built anyway. I'm not sure if Stratasys is going to make all those patents in court, but they are filing it in Texas. And apparently Texas is pretty patent savvy. They are really happy to confirm a patent and just sue everybody for it. And apparently every company in the US is going to Texas for patent infringement, which is actually pretty scary. A few things can happen. Bambu Lab can lose a lot of money, or Stratasys is going to own a lot of the company, or they are going to stop making printers for the US market altogether. So this means that we are actually having some scary times going forward. If it turns out that the court is in favor of the lawsuit, then yeah, it could actually mean that companies like a Prusa, which actually did a lot for the community, is also getting sued, and this is going to continue for every printer that is going to be sold in the US market. Very scary, and I hope that common sense is going to kick in because, yeah, like I said, some of these things were going to be invented eventually, and holding something behind closed door for 20 years is just absolutely ridiculous. Then we have the Phrozen Arco. They still didn't ship any printers to the customers. The Kickstarter ended around, I think it's going to be May. Normally they would ship it in May. We are now August. And it looks right now that it's going to be very tight if they're even going to ship it this year. The updates are really minor. They are not telling anything what they are doing or so. I mean, yeah, I called it. Not really happy that I called it, but yeah, they definitely weren't ready for the Kickstarter. They should definitely have delayed that project. And there are a lot of people that lost their money right now, hoping that they are going to deliver. Now, knowing Phrozen, they are probably going to deliver. Now, the biggest question is going to be, when will they deliver it? And right now, I hope it's going to be before Formnext. I would be very happy to visit them on Formnext and ask them a few questions about the Phrozen Arco. But like it's looking right now, I'm really afraid that they are even going to make the Formnext edition with the finished product of Arco. They are probably going to bring it to Formnext to feature it. I hope the guys that put their money in it are going to get a printer really soon. Like I said, there are a lot of things that are still very vague. They are still not sharing a lot of their product development. So right now it still looks like you are in for a long wait. Also the pricing, I'm going to put my foot down. The pricing is still pretty high. We can see that the product is just lagging behind, and I'm afraid that when this product is going to launch, that little kickback that you got from the Kickstarter, the nice discount, yeah, it's going to be all for nothing. And if they are selling that printer, it is actually going to be close to the same price that you paid for at the Kickstarter. So right now, not a lot of news on the Phrozen Arco. All right, now all this crap is done. We are going to unbox some stuff. These are going to be your next video. All right, the first package we have received is actually nothing to do with 3D printing, but I'm going to share it nonetheless because I think this is actually super cool product to have. If you're any kind of a tinkerer like me, then having fastening or securing solutions is going to be actually pretty cool. Now, this is something I bought from the usual suspects on AliExpress, and these are going to be heat shrink soldering thingies. I'm not sure what the proper naming is on it. So they call it the Solder Seal Wire Connectors Heat Shrink Hydrated Electrical Wire Terminals Butt Splice Cable Crimp Waterproof Automobile. Well, that was a mouthful. So these are the electrical crimps. Like you can see, there's a little solder ball in the middle, but this thing is actually hollow. And then we have those blue things right over here. So the principle is going to be, you put two wires in, one here, and then you use some heat source to make this hot. This little ball in the middle is going to melt the wires together, and those two blue things right over here are going to make a weatherproof seal. So instead of talking about it, let's do a little demonstration. We are going to cut this wire and going to strip the ends. And normally you would use a soldering iron. Well, right now you don't have to anymore. We already have a nice connection. Now we are going to take, this is probably going to be perfect. So I'm going to put this sleeve over it like that. And right now you can see the soldering ball is in the middle, and the red piece right over here and over here are connecting with the purple shielding. Now we're going to grab a heat source like this, and we are going to gently heat it up. And you can see actually that the ball in the middle is melting a little bit. I'm going to give it some more heat right over here. And this right now is soldered and weather shielded. So this is really cool stuff if you have wires that are broken and you want to put them together without having to solder them and putting some heat shrink over it. This is doing everything at the same time. All right, so next up we have the K-Touch from Big Tree Tech. This is a wireless monitor system where you can see all your printers on it that are Clipper based. So every Clipper printer that you have can be linked to this system, and you can wirelessly see what the hell your printer is doing. They reached out to me for me to check it out, and I gladly said, yep, I have a few Clipper printers on the way. This is the second one. We have two more coming. One for that I paid for is going to be the Rhetoric V-Core 4. Really looking forward to it. This is going to be in my opinion, better than the Voron. And then we have another Clipper printer that I'm under NDA for, so I cannot say what it is going to be. Now let's have a quick look what we are getting. It is nicely packaged. We can see that we have some stickers, really cool. A little booklet, a little thank you card. No, thank you guys. Right over here in this little box. Woo, cool. We have a little ducky. This is actually something that Big Tree Tech is doing with every product that they have. They are putting little duckies in it. I think it's really going to be cool. We have a little Allen key, we have a wire, and then we have a monitor stand with some adhesive on it. And you can actually mount it somewhere. There are some holes in here so you can screw it to any surface you want. And this is going to be the screen. It is actually pretty heavy. It looks like it's all going to be plastic, but there's probably also a pretty big battery inside. On the back we have off, we have battery mode, and we have DC, which is going to be with this USB cable. So you are going to be able to run it by a USB cable. I'm going to leave the rest for the review, but this is actually a pretty cool thing to have in your shop if you're doing multiple prints or if you are at home, because it is Wi-Fi. You can watch it from wherever you want. This is going to be pretty cool to look at. Nice. Next we have right over here the mini heater from Algo. This is actually a product that I was waiting for together with the S4 Ultra. I have ordered it at the same time, and this is going to be their solution for heated enclosures. They are not going to integrate it right into the machine. This is actually something that you can move around and put in any printer that you want, and I have actually an idea with it. This is the Sovol SV08. And like you guys know, if you follow the channel, I am a bit of an ABS junkie. Now, this printer doesn't have a heated enclosure. There is an optional enclosure for the Sovol, but there is still no heater in it. Eh? All right, let's have a little look inside. We can see the user manual. We have an Allen key with some screws, and right here probably we have the heater. Let's have a quick little look. And it is actually pretty small. I like it. It doesn't have to be big. It is probably going to be a PTC element with a little fan underneath. And we can see there is an input for some DC voltages. This is probably also going to be with a little power adapter. So it is going to be really easy to adapt into any system you want, like the Sovol SV08. Okay, we are going to leave it with that. So we have a new heater to test out, and I'm actually not going to use it on a resin printer. Then we have this massive box, which is actually something I don't know what it is. It is shipped to me for free because I have no clue what it is, or I forgot about it. Let's look what we have. Well, it's all taped up together, great. Okay, this is one side. Ah, yes. This is going to be the one I put up a poll for. I don't know if you remember, guys, but I recently posted a poll about some filament joining system, and Sunlu actually reacted to that post and said, why don't we send you the filament connector? So I got the filament connector, and I actually have 2 spools of filament to use it on. This is the PLA Plus 2.0 silver, and this is going to be the PLA 2.0 blue. When I saw this product, I was actually pretty interested in how this would be working. I have obviously seen the video from Uncle Jesse. He didn't have too much success with joining filament. It did work, he did some prints with it, but he was struggling with it. So I actually put on a poll to see if you are interested, and the common response was you had 3 options. You had the yes, no, and you had the beer. And the winner of this poll with 53 votes is going to be beer. So we're going to review the filament connector with a nice pint of beer next to it. I'm not going to open the box, that is going to be for the review, but you know it is coming. We are going to review the filament connect, and then the biggest box, the box that I was actually waiting for to open. This has been sitting in the garage for, I think it's going to be more than over a month, and this is going to be the Sovol SV08. This is thanks to you guys, because I was actually going to do the Voron build. I was looking at the one from Formbot. It was going to be about $1,000. And one of you guys commented on the video that you would rather see something else than the Voron. The Voron is actually a lot covered in YouTube, and you would rather see me review a very affordable printer, the Sovol SV08. It's also a Core XY, but it is going to be very basic. This is actually inspired on the Voron. It is almost a complete copy, except for some things that I did. Now, it is really cool to see that they are donating to the Voron team for borrowing their design, and they have donated about $3,000 to the team. Now, they are only giving $2 per printer they are selling, so they got $2 from me and they gave it to Voron, which means that they have sold 1,500 units so far, which is actually pretty amazing. They are earning mucho dineros from the Sovol SV08, and yeah, maybe let's open the box and see what's inside. We're going to just take a quick look because I actually want to build it on a separate video. So like I said, I'm actually pretty excited to test the Sovel SVO8. I think right now it's the sweet spot between speed and build volume. It is going to be about, I thought it was 350, 325 or something like that. So it is a massive build volume and it is kit style, but it is easy to assemble. It's just putting together some parts and then you have the printer. So we are going to do a first look where we are going to assemble this piece of machinery. And I have to say I am already, but that is going to be for another video. They actually did a nice way of packaging. All right, I think that is going to be it for today. I don't think I have anything else to unpack. So yeah, let's say that we are going to clear these boxes and I'm going to start the next video. And now I want to talk a little bit more personal for all my subscribers and the members of the channel. We had about 5 weeks off from the channel and I have to say, it did me a lot of good. I was starting to feeling a little bit burned out. I think from the summer of last year to right now, it was just one wild ride. I think I did more than 60 hours a week doing my main job. So I'm an electromechanical technician for a company called Volvo. I am maintaining the machinery and on top of that I'm doing YouTube. And I think 60-hour weeks would be very moderate. I think I did at least a few more in the weekends. I get up and the only thing I do is YouTube. So the 5 weeks I took off really did me well. I am now pretty excited to do some 3D printing again because I was really tired. And this also means that I'm going to probably slow a little bit down. I really don't want to get burned out. We have Formnext coming in November. So yeah, we have a lot of business to do. We still have to build the Mega Smoother V2. Yeah, so we have a lot of stuff coming up. We also have, like I said, the Rhetoric. We have a printer that I cannot call because I'm under NDA, and there are probably going to be some more opportunities besides that. I'm also invited to be in some kind of a podcast of Yam He. Not sure what that's going to be about. They really think that I'm a pro in resin printing. I think I'm actually the complete opposite. I just test every resin that I see and I tell you what I think about it. I also put on a little community post about the Q&A. Well, there was only one question for me, so I'm going to answer it. And if you would like to see a dedicated Q&A, then now leave a comment down below. This can be about everything. It can be about me, 3D printing, lawsuits, other printers, other YouTubers, you name it. Put it down in the comments and I will answer them. There was actually one person that took the time to put in a question and it is going to be resin based. And the question is from Larry. Hi Larry, when you want to print something, what resin do I choose and why? Also, do you use different resins for non-functional printing? Now I'm going to include you into a secret. I actually don't resin print. I know. I have so many videos about resin printing, but I actually don't use it. If I'm actually doing some functional printing, everything is going to be filament. And the reason I use filament is because first, it's way more easy to set up. It is not messy. You don't have to dig around with filthy resins and punctures and cleaning it up and all of that. So for me, functional prints are always going to be on an FDM printer, and I like to use ABS if it's going to be for glue ups or anything else depending on what I'm going to use it for. For example, this is a cover for my phone. My wife and I both got new phones this year. And we like to do some bike riding. We have 2 speed bikes and we like to use our phone for navigation. Now, one thing that is going to be very functional is this thing right here on the back. I designed this to fit on the mounting system we had before. This is actually the 3rd phone case that I made that is going to fit my phone and the mounting system that we have without having to buy a cover every time we are going to change phones, because more of the time, except if you are using a quad lock, the phone case manufacturer with the locking system is going broke or something, or they just disappear and you are sitting with a system that you are not going to use in the future. So I have designed my own puck, I call it. I took this design from, I think it was Thingiverse. This is the cover from somebody that's posted it online, and I glued my puck on this cover, and now I can put in my phone like this, and then we can twist it on, and then we have a nice little mount sitting on my bike so I can see where I'm biking off. So functional printing is going to be FDM for me. All the resin printing that I'm doing is actually for you guys, it's not for me. I really like the stuff that is sitting on the closet, but I am not into figurines all that much. There are some stuff that I really think are cool. Don't get me wrong, I really like coming in and seeing all that stuff, but that stuff is something I would not put in my home. I like it clean, I like it, yeah, I'm a bit more of an abstract guy, let's say it like that. The only thing that I have done that is for me is going to be this microphone thingy right over here. This was actually for the previous version of Formnext. Now I have a new audio gear, so I am now using the Rode Wireless Go 2. This is actually pretty cool. This is completely wireless. You can use a lavalier like this one. I have plugged one in. It is hanging here on my shirt, or if you are meeting somebody else, I actually have a second one of those, and you can just hang it on their clothes. It is much easier than the Sony one I had before, but that Sony one was sitting right over here, and this was actually pretty cool to print, and this was printed with the Yonghe Standard Plus Pro or the Standard Pro. And there is another exception. On the first look of the S4 Ultra, we have bought something from Prey. We have bought a file from Wicked. This is going to be the Predator from Prey. I bought it because I actually think that dude absolutely looked awesome. And actually we are going to have a little cooperation. All the videos going forward are probably going to be from Wicked 3D. This guy absolutely makes the best models that are out there, I think. And we are having a little cooperation because we do a lot of resin printing for you. So it's going to be really interesting to see what we are going to print next. But if I have to do some recommendations, if I'm just dicking around with resin, I am probably going to use the absolute shit resin, the Anycubic Eco. And the only reason I am using Anycubic Eco, because the first time I bought a printer, which is going to be the Elco Jupiter, I bought a huge, I think it's a 10 pack of resin. And the first bottle I tried, massive epic fail. The second bottle, the same. And then I decided to, you know what, I'm going to test this resin and I'm going to compare it to a few. And at that time, I think Conjure reached out to me and said, you know what, we want to send you some stuff, why not? And this is how the resin testing gauntlet got so far to right now. So if I'm going to dig around, I still have about 6 bottles of that absolute shit Anycubic Eco, and I'm going to use it just for that, because it is almost 3 years old right now. It's just sitting there. And like I said, you can basically print everything you want with shit resin, which is pretty cool. But the downside is going to be that it's going to be brittle, it's going to be breaking fast, and you have some warping concerns and all of that. So if it doesn't matter and you just want to test it out, or you are printing miniatures, every resin works. But if you're going to print something that actually has to test the times of day, or you want to do some stupid stuff like this, there are absolutely resins that are suited for that. This is fine. This is just the foot that dropped away. This is the Ceratec Tenacious. It is absolutely impossible to destroy. But if you are asking me right now what my absolute favorite resin is going to be, it's going to still be the Sunlu ABS. The price to performance is absolutely perfect. But if price is not an issue, the Nova 3D Engineering is going to be a lot better. It's a lot stronger, but it just prints the same as the Sunlu ABS. If you're really looking into engineered prints, then the Nova 3D Engineering is one of the best resins I have tested. And if you are just digging around, or you are using non-structural prints, so non-functional, and you are only using them for the for miniatures like this, I would definitely go with the Sunlu ABS. The price to performance is absolutely great. Also, the Yonghe Standard Pro, not a bad resin, but there are so many resins right now in the gauntlet. It's all about the pricing, in my opinion. So right now, I would say go for the Nova 3D Engineering if it actually needs to be strong and it is for structural purposes. And the Sunlu ABS, or look one up in the charts that is in your liking of pricing. The standard Pro from Yonghe is definitely also good priced and not a bad resin. So yeah, that is where I stand about resin printing. So now you also know why I'm actually making these videos. They are not for myself, they are 100% made for you guys. Also about the lawsuit of Bambu Lab, let me know what you think about it. Is this going to disrupt the 3D printing scene like we know it now? Or is this only for the benefits? in my opinion. Patents that are holding for 20 years are an absolute joke and they are an absolute stop on innovation. And the last thing I want to do is thank the members, and especially you guys. You are the best. You are actually making it possible for me to buy stuff like this and do some crazy shenanigans like smacking that little miniature right in front of me. So if you want to be part of the chaos, you can join right now in the membership for only €1 a month. Depending on the tier you select, you also have early access and all of that. So yeah, thank you so much guys for being members, and also the subscribers to the channel for following along. And guys, I'll see you in the next one.